There are many different types, systems, and mechanics of network effects, such as protocol, personal, physical, or expertise. WEB3 network is built on the consciousness direct utility network effect, where users have their identity and where every new user who joins WEB3 products increases the value to other users who are in possession of WEB3 products. In other words, the more users WEB3 services have, the more value every user receives from those services. Just like on any other network, in WEB3 there are nodes such as users, NFT, or a company node, and links which link those nodes. On those links can travel digital assets, status, information, knowledge, data, NFTs, tokens, tasks, assignments, encryption algorithms, pleasures, thoughts, or even users' consciousness. And once those nodes are connected, they should create potential geometric growth and increase the value of that particular network. There could be many structures or many types of nodes, where every node has a different objective, functions, or feature. In one network, a node could be a user. In another network of the same project, a node could be NFT. And yet in another network of the same project, one node could be a user and another node NFT. It all depends on the structure and mechanics of that particular network. And that is exactly what users can experience in a WEB3 application, where the user's consciousness travels across different networks and between different nodes. Before we take a closer look at some basic WEB3 networks, imagine yourselves as one of the tens of millions of regular users of your favorite social media platform. We are pretty much convinced that users, we never talk to them, we don't know, and with whom we haven't been associated with in any way, don't affect our lives or influence our immune systems. Whether you are aware of it or not, as long as you are an active user of that particular network, you are directly interconnected with all other users, and they are connected with you. You are one living ecosystem where all users influence each other. If one user suffers, that suffering affects the lives of all other people, including me and you. Conversely, if you feel inspired, that inspiration travels across links, not only to contacts that you have on your profile, but to the rest of the network. To understand this process better, imagine two types of networks connected by links. One network consists of links where encryption algorithms travel. Their job is to deliver various information, products, services, hashtags, opinions, features, or perceptions. Those encryption algorithms can be mathematically computed and measured. How many nodes opened that data, purchased, shared, recommended, or returned? How fast did those transactions take place, or how many new nodes were acquired? The second network is a little bit more complex. It reflects how many users got addicted to that encryption algorithm and how much of that addiction they passed on to other nodes. Every single piece of information or data that is sent across the network, whether this information comes directly from a company's node or a user's node, has its own invisible parallel network, which mirrors the consciousness of the first network. So in reality, not the encryption algorithms, but consciousness is what travels across the network. Likewise, in WEB3 application, all users are mutually connected. However, data that does not benefit the user because its objective is to addict the node can be dissected and delivered to WEB marketplace. Additionally, the user can purchase from the same WEB marketplace other users' anti-data and sell it to a storage called Mesach. In that particular network, users benefit in three different ways. They reduce their own anti-data, meaning addictions. They earn by supplying their own anti-data, and they earn by delivering other users' anti-data. This simple network represents how WEB-based revenue tiers are connected and intertwined. 10% of total revenue is located in a treasury called ZAN and later equally distributed between qualified users. This network depicts NFT nucleus, which enables WEB users to activate B2B online and offline businesses. From each transaction, user receives a 5% commission paid by a new merchant who, of course, beforehand decided to join WEB3 network. 10% of this commission is transferred to Zan treasury and later as part of WEB3 revenue equally distributed among qualified users, including the new merchant. That new merchant can be an already existing user, so in such a case, user earns twice. The density of WEB3 network is determined by its ratio of links to nodes. The higher the interconnectivity of the network, the more powerful the network effects are. The density of links of nodes in WEB3 is based on bidirectional two-way friending connections between the users. These two-way friending connections are not only based on texting, messaging, or messages or watching shared posts. In WEB3, the bidirectional connection is based on promoting the user's profile, but from the inner consciousness potential insight, rather than external promotion of the profile. Instead of utilization, users choose the dematerialization of their desire. As a result, true potential, long-lasting fulfillment, and above all, genuine connection is being built between the nodes. The bidirectional high-density connections create a white-hot center, which is the higher activity of the network, meaning all nodes are connected to that particular core. In WEB3, that principal white-hot center is NFT mining, where users for 6 days in a week create supply and demand by delivering, selling, and purchasing anti-data. At WEB3, we believe that every user can creatively express their innermost insight, values, or potential. Therefore, to strengthen retention and defensibility, WEB3 focuses on heterogeneous marketplaces. For example, more and more users express their dissatisfaction with the lack of genuine connections between themselves. Users' expectations are higher and higher. They want to understand and feel what the other users truly feels. And this cannot be simply delivered by another encryption algorithm. Instead of purchasing a new feature whose objective is to convince users that everything is fine and under control, what WEB3 offers is to focus more on the consciousness development of users. This would create a natural loyalty and dedication to others and to the network. It is important to emphasize that within networks are also smaller, tighter, and more integrated networks, which are called clusters. We all agree that people who sincerely share the same beliefs, values, concerns, and desires, and have the same goals, sooner or later are going to create some sort of mechanism that will integrate them even more. In order to create the value of the network, the project needs a critical mass. And to activate that critical mass, the product has to have some value to nodes. When the network value exceeds the value of the product, meaning when the user's desires are regularly fulfilled, the network is going to take over in terms of where the value is coming from. Consequently, the service or product takes off on its own. And once this process takes place, critical mass is created. That critical mass in the case of WEB3 application is that users are fulfilled by the fact that relations and connections are not exceptionally built on external physical features, but rather on deeper connection, their consciousness. WEB3 consciousness direct utility network effect is embedded on 7 center layers, which strengthen retention and defensibility. Users, of course, have their own identity or identities that enable them to connect to anyone on WEB3 applications. Users can make payments, purchase products, NFTs, receive rewards, and trade on different marketplaces. WEB3 is aware of income disparity and the degree of the power law. In order to increase wealth and well-being, users are offered ownership of 51% of WEB3 shares. The objective, of course, of all mechanics, structures, and networks is to build geometric growth. We can talk a lot about value that is increasing geometrically. WAV-pay geometric growth, however, is built differently because it's based on the development of human consciousness. Once a user achieves a peak of one particular consciousness development and is ready to receive a new peak, first, that already achieved development has to be reduced. However, this contraction never goes lower than was before. Web3 needs network effects. There are more and more companies that are making the inevitable transition from Web2 to blockchain Web3. Today, social media and other corporations do what is in their power to create mathematical encryption algorithms that would allow them to control their nodes. The objective of those algorithms is to addict users to different services, products, perceptions, or features. The users, however, slowly but surely feel that something is not right, that connections are not genuine and are less authentic. And this issue cannot be simply solved by mathematical encryption algorithms. For example, please like me more, love me more, desire me more, I hope you trust me more. What we are currently witnessing is that more and more corporations struggle with that problem, including public health concern, because of addiction, depression, and anxiety that are gradually increasing. The networks presented by Metcalfe or Reed are just fine. Unfortunately, they have been used to take advantage by providing illusionary connections. And as long as this issue is not going to be addressed, the fragmentation and separation between people or clients will be increasing. So what is the solution? To focus on creating network effects that will develop users' consciousness and strengthen their immune systems. Social media and other corporations are entering a new era where the most powerful retention and defensibility will be built on encryption algorithms that empowers users' consciousness instead of compromising it. WAV-pay is a pioneer in the field of consciousness direct utility network effect that focuses on and actually offers a genuine relationship between users. By converting addictions and strengthening the immune system, users are going to increase their desires and reveal concealed potential. It is worth mentioning that WAV-pay offers its services also to Web3 companies who are interested in the implementation of such mechanics. Presently, we are in the pre-seed phase, and that means that you can join WAV-pay and become the user, investor, and co-owner of a company at the premium rate. To find out more, go to www.wavpay.io/preseed or email us directly on our social media. And if you have any other questions regarding the services WAV-pay offers or technology, you can address them directly through social media. Today's webinar has been recorded, so in case you would like to watch it again or share it with someone, please feel free. And as always, I'm going to see whether there are some questions. I will try to answer them. So we have some questions here. Tamar is asking, social connections. If users get rid of addictions and there will be more positive messages, thinking on this network, will it affect other social media that I currently use, such as Facebook, Instagram, or WhatsApp, since there is so much addiction there? Yes, imagine yourself as a person and you know that you have your own consciousness, right, Tamar? So when you are at home, you connect with people, with family, with friends, you connect with them. When you take a phone and you call to your friends, you also connect. But your consciousness is with you. When you go to work, your consciousness is with you. So whether you are on Instagram, WhatsApp, or somewhere else, you are using your consciousness. So the most important part is not the application itself, because you see, we stick to that application, whatever that application is, and we become that application. We become that information that application is giving us. Instead of being wherever you want to be, on Instagram, WhatsApp, Twitter, wherever you want to be, or WAFPay, and use your consciousness over there. So you see the difference. Instead of product is influencing us and we don't use our consciousness, you can use whatever you are, your consciousness. And that is the most precious thing. So you can be on other, for example, platforms or social media platforms, yes, and still you can connect with other people, provided that they want you to be connected with them, right? So if you are going to work, this can actually spread wherever you want to be. You can be on social media on that particular platform, you can connect with that using your consciousness. So the question is whether that application is going to provide the user, that what I was talking today about, is going to provide the user or users with that possibility of connecting not through encryption algorithm that want the users to be controlled, but to allow them to connect through your consciousness. I would answer in this way. Okay, here we have one more. Alexandra, is WAFPay geometric growth comparable to other companies on the market? To be honest, I don't know, because there are, I would say, two aspects, so to speak, very quickly. That's what comes to my mind right now. The first one is that that's the way we have prepared our geometric growth. In WAFPay, we see that this geometric growth, the clusters, the white hot center, the heterogeneous marketplaces, they are going to be depending on exactly on the consciousness of the users. So we just know how the consciousness in a proper way develop. So what our geometric growth actually shows is how the user's consciousness should work when it's developing, when it's receiving and accomplishing and achieving more and more. So when you look at your life, Alexandra, you see that you know that everything is fine in your life, that you are in the middle of your success, and then suddenly, it doesn't have to be suddenly or out of the blue, but you are losing that, or you for some reason don't understand what is happening in your life. So it doesn't mean that you are lower. It feels like you lost everything sometimes, but it doesn't mean that your consciousness development is lower. It feels like that, but then you are just before another growing. So that's how it works. So we are not aware whether there are other companies, to be honest, who build their geometric growth and application based on consciousness. So I would answer to that questions in this way. Okay, I think that's it for today. There is one more question. Davin Lyon, can you expand on consciousness profile versus traditional profile? Right, so imagine that we have all profiles, right, on different social media. We have our own profiles. Now, honestly, we have to ask ourselves an honest question. Why do we use this profile? Or why, in which way we use these profiles? Why do we need them? Do we need them to express our inner parts of our consciousness, our mind, our potentials, or do we use this profile to show something else? So let's say traditional profiles, they are used to express, we express by this profile what we have accomplished in an external way. So we show, for example, where we travel, what we have, who we are, why you should listen to me. Okay, we use this profile to express external parts of our life, which is great, which is good. But these external parts, they don't connect us. It looks like they connect us, but they don't. So this profile on its own, it's great. It doesn't matter whether express this externality. It's still good. We just went for some reason into that direction where this profile has been used to express externality instead of who we are. Okay, so it's okay that we show around what we have. That's still fine. That's not the problem. The problem is that we are losing connection. We thought basically, that by showing this externality, we can connect to each other, that we can be closer, but we are not. So we have more things, and which is great, which is good, but we are just, this disparity between connections, this fragmentation is growing. Now, let's use the same profile. Imagine you with the same profile you have on your social media. But now, you also add to whatever you have, your internal, your insight, your potential, your talents. Nobody knows about them because you cannot show them. Imagine that you look at another person's profile, or you talk to that person, and you know what that person feels, what is that person desires, for example, lack, whether this person truly likes you, wants to be with you. Imagine this. You see, when we are going to use our profile to work on ourselves from the inner point of view, from the inner insight and our potential, and we are showing that on the top of what we can also show externally, that's fine still. Then you see, you feel me and I feel you. You know who am I, and you also know who you are. So we can connect in a different way, in the consciousness way. This way that cannot be controlled by encryption algorithms. That is the way I would show you in a simple language, and the difference between this external profile, traditional profile, and the same profile, we can say, but which express different interconnectivity between users, more genuine, more authentic, and that's what we should pay attention to. And we believe that that is the only way people can connect. They are not going to be connected exceptionally by external algorithms, mathematical external algorithms, but using their own consciousness. Okay, I hope I answered your questions. Okay, so there is no more questions. I would like to thank you so much for your time. I truly appreciate your questions, and I hope to see you soon. And I hope that this or today's webinar has helped you to understand a little bit more our application and what we are actually building. And we just would like to ask you to join us, of course, on social media, be part of the application, be the user, be investor, become a co-owner, and share that knowledge, share this vision with other people as well. So thank you very much. Stay in touch and see you soon.